Welcome back to Die Sexy, the podcast that talks about all there is to achieve ultimate health and vitality. Your host, longevity specialist Adrian Smith, will bring you an integrated approach to the human body.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Die Sexy. Today, we are doing a little interview with one of my longtime friend, client. We've had quite a ride. She actually tried to leave me at one point and had to come back. I'm kidding. But you guys, listen, you're going to want to really listen to this one, because when I say we've been through a lot, she's been through a lot. And I think for me, I'm just fortunate enough to feel like I was able to offer her enough information to help her kind of guide herself, as well as to ask the right questions to the right people. But you stick around for this whole thing, because I think women, especially, you guys are going to be intrigued, to say the least, about all the different things we're going to talk about, including hormones. So, without further ado, this is Beth, and I'm going to let her kind of introduce herself and tell her story. Starting off with, how did you meet me?
Well, it was interesting. I met Adrian at a networking event, and I probably talked to her for about 10 minutes, and I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, a form of rheumatoid arthritis. And within 10 minutes, I knew this woman can fix me, because I knew that it could be fixed with diet. I just didn't know how to do it. But I was at a point in my life where I also knew that she'd make me do work that I wasn't ready for. So I did have an appointment booked with her, and I canceled. 5 years later, desperate and in pain, I finally met with you, and it was a whirlwind.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Okay, so when you, I think it would be cool for you to explain to people when you say you weren't ready, right?
Mhm.
Because I think that a lot of people are at that stage sometimes, especially when it comes to me. So, you guys, most of my clients come word of mouth, for a lot of reasons. But they're kind of, I come with a warning. Even if you come to me for body work, I come with a warning. And it's that I am a serious coach. Um, Everything I ask you to do is not the end of the world, but it can mean a lot for people. So I would like it if you could kind of explain and share that, because I think a lot of people feel that way.
Absolutely. I mean, when I say I wasn't ready, I wasn't emotionally or really ready to do that kind of work. I knew that she was going to change the way I operate in life. And I'm not sure I could have admitted it to myself at the time. I just canceled. I had a trainer, and I just canceled. And I thought, well, I can figure this out. But deep down, I knew that there were things that she was going to cut out of my life that I wasn't ready to do. And I wasn't emotionally ready to really do the hard work. And nothing that you do is all that hard.
Mhm.
It's just you have to be willing to put your health absolutely first.
And I forgot you were actually with a trainer.
I've had many trainers.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Listen, I just think she's all mine.
And what you don't know
Mm.
until you find Adrian, and you're like, "Oh."
So when you decided to come and work, I know when you walked in, you were like, "This is my time for me, and I am taking it all to myself." And even a few months into it, there was a point you came and you said you were in a relationship, in a situation, and you said, I told him and his children that I'm going to step away and take this time for me."
Yes. It was really important because it does take time and preparation on a daily basis and monitoring. And I had to step away from cooking for everybody, doing all the things. And I cooked for myself, and I shopped for myself. And I had to step away from it. They were old enough to handle it themselves anyway.
Well, and talking about that, so you now, for moms out there, let me explain a little bit of this whole thing. Beth didn't come well, that's not true. I think you kind of were coming to me to lose weight, but
Sure.
that wasn't, anybody who comes to me isn't just like, oh, I've got 20 pounds to lose. First of all, if you got 20 pounds to lose, there's something else going on, because we don't just gain 20 pounds, especially if you're saying to me, I've done everything and I can't lose it. No, 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 there's something going on. So the reason that was important for Beth to do is because we were dealing with a serious autoimmune that was taking over parts of her life. So it was, for lack of better terms, a little bit more strict, but it was, the food plan, like everything I do, is designed for the person I'm working with. What happens though is if anybody else in the family starts doing it, they also see the benefits. But for Beth to cook for her family the way that they ate would not help her in her journey or to help her body. And my focus was my client, which was Beth, and this is what we need to do. The big thing was the inflammation and rehabilitation of the gut. So that's why it was important for her to step back. And like she said, they were not children. So, but just so anybody knows, like, that's not.
But if they were small children, I would have taught them to eat that way, and it just would have been part of our life, but they
Yeah.
weren't, and they weren't choosing to eat that way, and it was hard for me to cook somebody a pizza, and what I eat is fabulous, actually.
I know, right?
I have no complaints.
Yeah.
But when you're used to eating the way most Americans eat, it's an adjustment.
Yeah, it is. And you're right, because when, like I said, when I have a mother that has small children, and even if her spouse doesn't follow, a partner doesn't do it at first, the kids automatically, I mean, I have so many videos, you guys. I love putting the videos of my clients, small children, like the age of like 1 and up, that eat meat and for breakfast and big salads, and they love it. So, but you're right. You didn't have that situation, but typically that's what happens. Everybody in the house ends up benefiting if mom is the one working with me, because she's cooking for the family. So it's a kind of cool thing. But I wanted to put that out there, to not confuse anybody as far as that goes. So you did that. So with that first journey with me, kind of talk about your experience and the benefits and everything that you saw.
Yeah, so immediately, the inflammation went down, and I could make a fist, and I could squat, and I could do things physically that I couldn't do before. I was in so much pain, and I didn't know why. I did have quite a long, I call it detox,
You did.
where I was exhausted and just having a lot of stomach issues because my body was detoxing, getting used to, um, the meat and the vegetables and not the processed food. And so where was I?
The process. Well, and again, explain that. So with RA, or inflammatory arthritis, it is a leaky gut that causes that, a dysbiosis of the gut. So she had dysbiosis. So when she says detox, what was happening to her was, not only was her body, like you said, getting rid of the detox, and you have to realize you have to set the organs up for that. And we were doing that. We did that, and you still had a hard detox, which was good for her. But that's how, for lack of better terms, bad you were, right?
Mhm.
And not everybody has the same experience. And now, even from 5 years, was it 5 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 years ago.
I do things even different now,
You do.
way different than I did now. So that's even something that I can somewhat avoid, but I can't always promise it's going to be roses and bubble baths when you go through this. But I remember almost every day for almost 3 months,
Mhm.
you had a rough time. But
Rough in terms of just exhaustion.
yes, it
And I
wasn't
had
anything
to
bad.
I had to just it was also everything else going on in my life.
Mhm.
I was too busy, I was too stressed, doing too many things. It forced me to sit down and take care of myself.
It did.
So it was kind of necessary.
Mhm.
So whether it was the detox or just sit down.
Yeah, yeah, stop. Yeah, the body does. The body has a way of doing that. Um, but yeah, you had she had a lot. She had a lot that we were dealing with. I mean, you had RA for how many years?
Oh, God knows. I mean, I was diagnosed 10 years prior to that, but I think it was a lot
Yeah, well, that means 20
before.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
20 years. And then on top of it, you were actually taking
I
drugs.
was taking injections,
Mhm,
and I pretty much stopped those immediately
mhm.
because I never wanted to take them, and they really didn't do anything for me. They didn't reduce my inflammation. The doctors just scared me that if I don't take it, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And maybe it would have, I don't know. But now it's completely manageable.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a lot to go through. Needless to say, that was, 20 plus years and medication to detoxify. We had to make sure liver was working right, taking time for herself to actually allow her body to recover. And you were killing it in the gym 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was training her. So when I say killing, I don't mean like my real hard stuff that you can do now. But for her body, it was enough. What we were trying to do was get her immune system built up and not wipe it out. So we were more working on working in, but also I was doing so many things now that I think about it, Beth. That's crazy. We were like trying to get your body to accept a movement that it had been afraid to do because of pain,
Mm-hmm.
while working through some pain, while working through this detox and gut rehabilitation on top of life itself.
Well, and I remember, I don't know if I'm getting out of turn here, but I remember when, I realized it really is the gut,
Mhm.
was because I would have a lot of pains and need body work um, when I was lifting and things. But then when my gut felt better, I didn't have all of that.
Mhm.
I could lift. I could not get out of whack
Yeah.
per se,
Yeah.
and it was a lot easier.
And do you remember after that detox, like, to me, I just remember it was like overnight. You just walked in and was like, yeah, I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's funny. It was literally like overnight. You went home that day. You didn't feel the best, and like the next day, you're like, I feel great, and you were fine after that.
Yeah.
Fine after that. Yeah. So we dealt with those things, and then you tell.
Well, I think I was with you for 2 years,
Mhm.
and then I moved, about an hour away, and life got really, really crazy, and a lot of drama, and, a lot of things happened in a year, and I kinda went off the diet,
Mhm.
not kind of, I definitely went off the diet and started putting things back in that I shouldn't, was not working out. And ironically, I didn't realize I didn't feel that bad for quite a while.
Mm.
Um, and then once everything settled down and my life got not just back to normal, but I just felt free and great. All of a sudden, everything came back tenfold. It was so painful, so much inflammation. And I called Adrian and I said, I need you. And I said, I don't understand why it took this long when I was in the height of all the stress. It wasn't happening. And you can say what you told me.
So a lot of times when you're in fight or flight or dealing with life, you're how should I say? It's not that you. It's almost like you can't hear your body. And depending on the type of stress that you're under, depending on what's going on in your life, it's almost like, I don't want to deal with it. So you kind of shove it under the rug. Well, if you keep sweeping your floor and you keep shoving it under the rug, shoving it under the rug, the next thing you know, the rug has like a pile underneath it. And eventually it gets to the point that you can't help but to see it and you're going to trip over it. And I did, Sue, when I work with people, I don't just say, I'm going to fix you for now. And the very minute you leave me, everything's going to come back. That's not how I work. I work with you as well as anybody else in a sense of, this is your body. This is what works for you. This is what doesn't. This is how we don't bring this back, and make sure that we give enough time for the bodies. All the cells have to turn over. Everything has to change so that you basically have a new body, to where those symptoms don't come back ever.
Mhm,
And we were there.
mhm.
But when you add that stress, and it was career, it was emotional stress, it was all kinds of different things. And some things in life can hit us a lot harder no matter how strong we are, because Beth is a strong woman, let me tell you. She's a beast. Businesswoman, like, yeah, fuck, guys, you name it, she's got it. But it doesn't matter. There's just some things that as a human hit us harder than others. So when you take that energetic, emotional stress on top of regular life stress, on top of a underlining, very quiet autoimmune disease, it lets you get away with it for a while. And then it's almost like when you take a vacation and all of a sudden you come back and you got sick on vacation when you were fine before. What happens is your body's like, oh, there's my window of opportunity. I feel like I can take an opportunity right now to recover. So, what it does is it kind of shows you everything that you've been hiding or ignoring or didn't have time to deal with. So, for you, that's exactly what happened because I mean, you were 150,000 miles an hour
Yeah.
for that whole entire year.
And now things are so great and so calmed down and so relaxed, and my life is completely different. But I really needed to get back on track physically with my workouts as well as my gut rehab again. Um, and I think that what really happened is um, bringing in that processed food and then with the hormones. But when I came back, not only did I know she'd take care of it, but as usual, she has all kinds of new things in her toolbox and new things. I was like, oh, that's new. So that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when you came back this time, when you called me, you had this knee thing that was
Mhm.
going on. So, kind of talk about, I mean, you came back so kind of give your journey as like, I came back because of this and this happened to be, like talk about that whole thing.
Yeah, so I got back from Europe. I had gone away for like a month, and then a few months later, my knee just inflamed, and I couldn't do anything about it, and I didn't know what was happening, and it wouldn't go down. And I started eating like I normally did. I started trying to get back on track by myself, but I needed more, and I needed I needed Adrienne back, and she welcomed me back with open arms.
As always, as always. So, the new things that I had for Beth this time around was big hitters, I guess you can say. I don't consider them big hitters. I think that there's something we should use often. But the first thing we did was we targeted her gut again back to rehabilitation, and I got new stuff for that even.
Mhm.
Um, just totally focused on it right away. Got that under control. The knee we played with for a while, but we did BPC, TB 500.
Mhm.
So we did some peptides.
And it definitely helped.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was charting to become addicted to the BPC. But that's okay because she can be. We can be because of her age and everything she's going through. Low dosing of BPC freaking daily with TB and some copper daily, swear to God, would be beneficial for her forever. And I'm a big fan too, must say. So we did that. We've done some new testing for
Mhm.
some. I have a feeling we got some other things we haven't uncovered fully yet. So we're working on that. Table work we did a lot of fascial work for her. Getting the hamstring to fire correctly was huge. So we had a lot with that poor little knee. It just wasn't like the inflammation of the joint, but it was also some muscle imbalances and some other things. But like I said, she's a beast. So she's like remodeling houses all the time and she's crazy. Um, and I think that just overuse, overcompensation over time did that. And now it's been quiet.
Oh, for a while, and it finally happened after the HRT.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. I
It
can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. So one thing that I wasn't always and even when you came to me the first time, I was using HRT, TRT, peptides, bioregulators. I was very hesitant to share them because they were so new back. They're still new. And some people look at them, poo-poo them because they're injections. Some of them are injections. Some are capsules. We've got lingual forms now, many forms, but I was very hesitant to share that with my clients back then. Now I don't care because I'm going to give you all the tools that I can to help you. You pick up what you want. So when she came to me and we cleared up so many different things and it was really fast. Like I'd say within
Yeah.
the first 30, 60 days for sure, you were like, I feel fucking great.
Yeah.
But there was like this underlining still like, well, you can explain how you were feeling every day.
Well, I mean, there's this huge brain fog,
Mhm.
but that had been probably for years. And some underlying like depression feeling, and also just feeling weak.
And you're waking your belly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you had a hard time with
Yeah,
the belly.
yeah. And I had a hard time maintaining my weight.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just feeling strong again.
Mhm.
So we did the tests and found out that, I postmenopausal, my numbers were low, and all the gynecologists said, "You're fine. This is where you're supposed to be."
Mhm.
Um,
And you were how long postmenopausal at this time?
it's hard to say,
Mhm.
but probably 7, 8 years. Yeah. And a couple of them did recommend some HRT, but it was things that we had talked about, and what I wasn't interested in them.
You can feel free to share.
Okay, so a couple people talked about the pellets, the patch, the pill for estrogen and progesterone, and then there was also the gel, the estradiol gel. And we had talked about doing a compounded estrogen and testosterone. So I went to Adrian's doctor because it was the only place to get it.
Mhm.
And he was amazing
Mhm.
and spent 2 hours with me. I went to 4 gynecologists who each spent 10 minutes with me, and it went nowhere. So he spent 2 hours with me and prescribed the proper medication, and literally within a month, I felt 100 times better,
Mhm.
and the testosterone is just fantastic.
Mhm.
It it helps me with the brain fog. Um, I just feel so much better.
And when you went to, so yeah, it's funny. Adrian has a medical doctor. What? I have one, and I intern from him just as much. He's amazing. Like she said, we we had everything done. By the way, before you even went to your first
Mhm.
gynecologist, I had her blood work panels done. Blood work panels that you'll never see anywhere else. Um, they were all done. I mean, we had everything to show. The reason we needed a medical provider, you guys, is because I cannot prescribe HRT like that. Um, Not the way that I feel you should have it. Okay. I'm very particular on things that I do, and I also know my lane and my limitations. That's why I have a Rolodex full of people, because if I can't, I know someone who can. Um, so I know for my ladies, HRT, there's a specific way that it should be given, compounded, put together, however you want to talk about it. And those are out of my jurisdiction. So that is why I sent her to Doc. And yeah, he did spend 2 hours with her. We talked about, I mean, he's amazing. We won't get into that. But she left with everything she needed and felt really good. Um, so her being able to go to every other appointment that you had, literally she went to all of them.
And they barely looked at my blood work.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
some of the blood work that they looked at, they didn't understand it, which was bizarre to me.
And I've seen that a lot. We won't get into that.
But
That's a
I have
whole nother
Sorry,
podcast.
but I have learned that even through the gynecologists, they just aren't taught about menopause in school.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not all their fault.
And that's what I want to get to also. And this is where I think, women or men, either one, I think this is important because we tend to label people, or I shouldn't say that. I think sometimes people are given labels, um, or they give it to themselves. One of the things I like to do is always teach. I teach my clients as much as possible. And even if you tell me to go F myself, that's fine. I just want you to be able to advocate for yourself, who to find, what questions to ask. And I want you to know about your own personal body so that it's harder for people to pull smoke or a veil over your eyes, right? So Beth went into my doctor very educated, not just on herself, and also we had all the paperwork he could have needed to go over all the lab testing and everything. And so that made it a lot easier, but also he knows what he's doing. But I want to talk about the last appointment that you went to, because I think that a lot of women would think that that is the gold standard of people to go to. And share your experience as far as that goes and the difference between not even me, but just Doc and her, or the situation, however you want to talk about it.
Yeah, this was a highly recognized and well-known OBGYN who specializes in menopause. And I waited a long time to get an appointment. I actually booked the appointment before I went to your doc, and that was like 9 months ago. Um, and I finally got in, and I thought, well, this will be interesting because I can learn to see what they have to say. And I had all my blood work, and I had additional blood work with my new numbers for my with my HRT, and it was not a good meeting.
You had your
I
prescriptions and everything.
I had my prescriptions and everything, and part of the reason is that she's not able to prescribe the things I have, because she's limited by the insurance companies. But part of it that really was not good for me is it didn't feel like a joint meeting, like we were making the decisions together, and that she was teaching me, and then I was asking questions, and then we were deciding what route to go. It was like, this is what you're going to do, and this, and not even this is why. And I asked questions and couldn't get answers, and it was very fear based as well, trying to make me afraid about some of my numbers, which proved to be nothing to be afraid of.
And again, you're free to talk about that because this is my podcast. Because I think people won't know what that means. And there's a lot of people that's going to walk into that situation.
Yeah, she knew that I ate meat 3 times a day. And she didn't like my cholesterol numbers, but my good cholesterol is really high, and my overall cholesterol is fantastic. She also didn't like, was it my sugar or my glucose?
Oh, glucose. Yeah.
Glucose, but my A1C was fine.
Mhm.
But she was saying it made no sense that she didn't understand it. And then she asked me about if I drank milk, and that I need to be drinking milk for calcium. And I said, well, I haven't drank milk in like 20 years. If I do, it's like in a little bit of cappuccino.
And it's heavy cream.
Yeah. And she said, well, do you take a calcium supplement? And I said, well, no, but I take a massive amount of magnesium, as you can see, because I gave her all of my supplements and my dosage and everything. And she didn't like that. So she became, after I shared with her all of my numbers and all of my supplements, it almost became combative. And I wasn't saying anything. I was just listening to what she had to say. And like I said, it didn't feel like it was a shared experience, which I feel is what you should have with your doctor, where they give you the information and it's my body. I get to make the decisions. Give me all the options and then I'll make the decisions. So yeah, wasn't a good experience.
No, and she had you, she took away from the fact that you were there for HRT, told you all the bad things to do with HRT, and then wanted you to take tests because she thought you were going to have what?
Some kind of
Heart attack.
thing, which I don't have high blood pressure. I mean, all my numbers are great. I don't understand. And it was literally because I eat meat 3 times a day. She was floored at that. And then she said, well, how much, with your omega fatty acids, how much fish do you eat? I said, probably about 5 meals a week at minimum. And she was like, well, how do you do that? I go, well, I eat meat 3 times a day. So that's, you know,
We actually,
21 meals a week.
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, my kids eat a lot of food. Let's just say that, and they look amazing. So there's that. share your experience as far as the training at FE goes or with me goes versus, like you said earlier, you have come from a lot of trainers.
Oh, yeah.
What with just training alone, what was the difference between those trainers or what you saw here? And why did you stay with me for that?
Oh, well, you're kind of addicting that way. It's very difficult once you go to Adrian to even go to your own gym, because I live an hour away, and feel like I'm doing it right. I- Anyway, this time around, I do feel a lot more body aware.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd had many trainers in my adult life. And usually what happened is I'd go in and they'd be like, "Okay, are you ready?" And there was nothing written down. And each time I went in, we'd make up a plan right then and there and do that. There wasn't really a rhyme or reason like we're working on back or chest. I guess sometimes there was a little bit of that. Um, but there wasn't like a plan. You put together a 4-week plan with 3 times a week, and it's very detailed, and your plan that you put together is based on the previous plans that I've had, so that we're growing all of the muscles. And I never knew anything about that. Like I said, when you don't know what you don't know, you don't really have anything to compare it to. Until you do, that's when you go, "Oh, that's how you're supposed to do it. And this is why." And this is why I never had any weight loss or gains or felt like I was building any kind of muscle. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And along with the training, so again, with her, it was a lot of retraining her brain to allow her body to move in certain ways once we got past the pain because her body knew pain for so long. So that was one part of it. Now, well, even towards the end of the first time you were there, but now, I mean, for me, guys, it's about, I mean, you can say we lift heavy, like
Yeah.
we do moves. We're not, how much
That's
cardio do you,
good.
how much cardio do you do?
None.
What was that?
None. I walk around that neighborhood.
Now, again, not saying cardio is awful, but
And I might bicycle around the neighborhood.
right. And again, though, that's me watching her blood markers, and there's other testing that you can do for cardiovascular health that if it were ever a problem, we would definitely do it. But we also don't sit between exercises. I mean,
Oh, I'm getting a cardio workout when I'm there.
we're doing it, but we're also not doing what is that, high intensity interval training either.
Mm.
No, we're actually building muscle mass because as a postmenopausal woman, as an older woman, as a light-skinned, blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, osteoporosis is an issue, and also because of disease of aging, muscle is what we need. So that's what we focus on. And I don't. Do you have any complaints about that?
Oh, no, I love lifting. It's so much more fun than cardio. I hate cardio. Always hated it. Hated spin. I did it all, and I never liked it. But the lifting makes me feel strong and powerful and like I'm getting like I can live longer and like I'm helping my bones. It just makes me feel good,
Yeah.
you know?
And that's the way we've changed the way your physique looks,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
I haven't it doesn't always show up on the scale,
no.
which is so bizarre to me. I'll be like, "Why am I not losing more weight?"
But then I pinch you.
Yeah.
And when we pinch, I'm looking at where she's storing fat, things like that, take measurements before and after pictures, and it's a totally different story.
Yeah, and also I can tell by the way my clothes fit, and I can just tell things are tightening up. It feels different.
Mhm.
It looks different.
Yeah. And everything from your skin to your hair.
Oh, the first time around the hair thing, that blew my mind. So I remember going to the hairdresser and I was like, I don't know if my hair's breaking off. I've got all these little things sticking up everywhere. And she's like, "Beth, you have massive new growth. This is not breakage. You have incredibly massive new growth." And that happened for a good 2 years.
Mhm.
Um, because and it might have been being menopausal, I don't know, where my hair had gotten pretty thin.
Mhm.
And then being on this diet, it just blew up. It was so great.
Nothing like real nutrients in the body. And
I
the high
know.
dosing of magnesium, that was way too much for you, by the way. Yeah, don't
I know.
teasing.
Right?
Um, So you come in 2 days a week with me, 1 day on your own right
Mhm.
now. And I will say this, you guys, I have not fully written out her food plan since she's been back this last time because I had set her up so well before.
I know it.
Yeah, she knows it.
I know. And now I'm so much more body aware. Like if I do eat something that I shouldn't, I feel it. I know it. I know exactly what happened. And I'm sure I'll get to the point where that won't be as dramatic. Um,
Yeah, that's how you know your body's set up right. There shouldn't be anything that you consume outside of alcohol or like really bad processed food that you shouldn't feel. You should not be sensitive to anything. Some of it can be genetic, but most of the time it's just your gut and the way your body's using it. Or if there's an underlying issue, that a little bit of something can set off an already inflamed cascade, right? It kind of happens that way. Um, so at this point, now that we've gone through all these journeys and your body's looking and feeling good, what would be your big thing as far as like, what are like your top 3 things that you've learned over this whole time with me that has kind of set you on a path for the rest of your life?
mm, okay, I'm blindsided. Um, I think the gut health, I had no idea about that. I had no idea that gut is everything. All these diseases, all these autoimmune diseases, I had no idea that it was related to your gut and then in turn connected to your brain. Um, I don't know if this is really one of the 3, but I knew I felt bad before,
Mm,
but I didn't know how bad I felt until I felt really good. Because I thought it was just kinda like the way it is, because you just deal with things.
mhm,
And then when you feel really good, that's why when I eat something that isn't really great for me right now, which doesn't happen often, but, I can feel it, and I know exactly what it's from because I'm much more aware. You wake up in the morning, I'm like, "Mm, yeah, I know what that was." And I also thought that the quitting alcohol was gonna be really difficult because it's such a cultural thing, and everybody drinks, and everybody goes out to the bar and has cocktails and this and that, and when I first quit, it was kinda hard. I missed it. I missed having that glass of wine, but then I started researching alcohol,
mm,
and that this isn't just a restrictive thing for my diet.
mhm,
It stopped being that, and it started being, "Oh, it's ethanol that we put in our car, and it's the biggest causer of cancer along with smoking." But nobody knows that, they don't talk about it, and, if people wanna drink, let them drink. I don't judge anyone, but I just have no interest in it whatsoever.
mhm. And it's not just you. That's one of the hard things. I mean, literally, guys, I have a 75-year-old woman that had to stop going out to lunch with her friends because they were picking on her for not drinking alcohol. And I'm like, "You're 75." I said, "When does the bullying stop?" Um, and that is a big piece of the whole thing is, I will tell anybody, and you know this, I can fix anything except for alcohol. I can't
Mhm.
fix it. And, a message to perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal women is that is like setting your entire system on fire in multiple ways. I mean, I've documented it in the gym multiple times. One shot, 1 ounce of alcohol, any kind, will inflame your body, but it will also mess with your hormones for 21 days. And then you can start rehabilitating from that. So if you're drinking, well, I only drink every 7 days, or the same thing with sugar. I only have it once a week. By the time, well, alcohol never gets cleaned out then. Sugar takes 7 days to clean out. So you're never cleaning out. You're always slightly inflamed. We call that inflammaging, right?
Oh.
So if you want to speed your aging process up, keep your body inflamed. That's why BPC TB 500 low dosing every day
Mhm.
is so good for you, because of the inflammatory
And
processes.
and the BPC, when I first started coming back to the gym, Granted, we weren't lifting super heavy at the start, mainly because of my knee,
Mm.
but still, I thought when I got back, I'm gonna be so sore. I'm gonna be a complete mess. I wasn't as sore,
Yeah.
which helped me to be able to lift more and do more gains on the weights. So,
Yeah, and helped you get out of bed and work on all your house projects and
yeah, everything.
that thing called lifing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I see
So,
my friends my own age who, can't squat down and look in the cabinet,
mm,
and
mhm.
it's all fixable. Just go to Adrian.
And you know what? We didn't talk about that, but you don't have to give exact age, but what age are you over?
I'm 58.
Okay. She doesn't care. There you
I
go.
don't care.
Yeah.
I feel great at 58.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we should. 58 is young.
Every decade gets better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, every decade gets better.
Mhm. When you prevent that, it's all prevention.
Yeah.
You know, that's my jam. So, yep, once we finish up this little bit with you, we get to pull in some really fun toys. I call it fun toys because now we're looking at building her up as we go. So again, 3 things.
Oh, how many did I say?
You said 1, and then you said, well, maybe 2 is the alcohol stuff because your friends have
I'm
had a hard time with that with you.
Yeah, some of them.
Mhm.
And people still say, "Well, you don't drink. Do you still want to go here with us in the neighborhood?" Yeah, of
Mhm.
course.
You don't need to be
I
drunk
can
to have
I
fun.
can have some water and lemon. You know. I still like to socialize. But yeah, I think the weights are an important factor for me because nothing I ever did before did I ever feel like I accomplished everything all the way back to my 20s when I was heavy cardio. I mean, the more pain, no pain, no gain. That was it. And I love the weights. I just didn't know how to use them. And I think it's really intimidating, especially for women, to go into the gym. And then sometimes I'll get Instagram reels showing me how to do things because it's the algorithm. I don't know if they're listening. I'll be like, well, that's not how Adrian says to do it. um, but yeah, so the weights is another really important factor. And then just how everything is connected. You've taught me that.
Mm.
The gut's connected to the brain, how all the muscles are connected and the fascia. Didn't know about that. When you get on the table with her and she starts working on you to release your fascia, you think, well, she's going to give me a nice gentle massage. Not so much, but you feel so good afterwards.
Mhm.
And she'll work up over here and it affects my left leg. And I mean, I don't know if that's actually true, but it's true. Like
It's true.
she'll work in a complete, I'll be like, I have a pain here. And then she's working somewhere completely different. And
Mhm.
then it's gone because
Yep.
it's all connected. And every time she teaches me something new, I do try to research more and I get onto a like kind of an addiction thing, looking into it. Um,
Yep.
and it does help to reinforce.
Mhm.
Sometimes I see things that are wacky that are wrong. um, but I know the training that you've had and continually have. Like I said, the last time I came in, you knew a lot, and now this time it was a whole nother level.
Mhm.
So
Well, my clients keep me on my toes, let me just say, because I never know what's coming through the door. And at this point in my career, I entered this career at a good time in the sense of a lot of the originals, the people that invented the things were there. Even Charles Poliquin was my strength coach. Um, and now we're kind of losing those people. And so there's no more horse of mouth, mouth, the horse's mouth people. Um, so now I learn a lot more from my clients because I don't know what's coming in the door ever. Not only do I like to be ahead of it, but at least I feel like I should know enough to know what path to go down. And I'm constantly studying because of that. But to go back to what you said, the fact that you can take what I tell you and research wise find that information to be true makes me happy.
Well, I want to.
Right.
Not because I'm second guessing you, but
Mhm.
you open up all of these ideas in my head and I'm like, "Oh, and I can't sit with you 24/7
Mhm.
and learn what you know." Um, but, like with the alcohol, you told me you couldn't fix alcohol. And I tried dabbling in it the last time around,
Yeah.
and it didn't go so well. It didn't. And then I started researching it. And that's when I really was like, oh, I don't even want to do this.
Mhm.
This isn't even because I shouldn't, because of RA. Nope. Well, I shouldn't say that. Nobody should, but it's true.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um,
But the fact that, a lot of people get upset if you do that, or sometimes people you'll hear things and you can't find the information on it. There are some things I talk about that you can't, like
right.
having eggs at nighttime, but I swear there's a book I can show it to you. There's a lot of information. I basically like the idea. I feel comfortable enough, let's say it this way, that my clients can go and research on their own and find it, and then we actually can have conversations about it.
Yeah.
I don't get mad about it because I think it's great. Sometimes, she might bring something to me that I'm like, oh, really? That's another angle on that I
Yeah,
never
that's
heard of.
happened. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to look at that.
Yeah, exactly. And I like it. And sometimes I can come back and be like, all right, I looked at that and it's total shit.
Yeah.
And other times I'm like, okay, so I looked at that and I found out, right?
Yeah.
So I like it that it's a learning community. Um, and let me talk about that real quick. You've been with me for these years. You come into the gym, you've been at other gyms, you've done all that stuff. You're out with your friends. It's hard to feel welcomed sometimes with the lifestyle that you have now. Um, with the gym, does it my goal is always to help it feel like a certain way. Is my gym comfortable that way?
Oh, so comfortable. Everybody's so nice. And everybody's going through the same thing, just a little different.
Mhm.
But we're all there doing the same thing. We're all there to work out and we're all there for our gut rehab. Every
Yeah,
last
yeah,
one of
yeah,
us.
in some ways, yeah.
um, so yeah, it's totally welcoming.
Mhm.
And the one thing I'll say about the training before versus now too is that the training before was always one-on-one. And this isn't specifically
Mhm.
one-on-one because there may be 5 people in the gym and we all have our plan from Adrian. And if it's my first week on the plan, I definitely am like, come here. What is this? I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
But then you kind of get, usually by the 4th week, you got it down.
and then I change it.
Yeah. But with more people in the gym, it's not a detriment even though you're training all of us. And we all have our own individual plan. I mean, you'll yell across the room, you're like, you know, don't F the mirror or whatever it is.
My favorite.
um, because you're paying attention. You've got eyes in the back of your head. So
Mhm.
yeah, I love the gym.
Yeah.
I love the people there.
Yeah, and you're right, everybody is there for some it always starts in the gut area, but yeah, even all kinds of different diseases and, symptoms, but yeah, it all does come from the gut, and they all pick on me, guys, it's great. They all tease me about my shit all the time, but I love it, for sure. Well, I can't tell you thank you enough for sharing your story, and I'm sure we missed a whole shit ton, but that's okay because I know where you live. So, I hope you guys got some stuff out of it, and, thank you for opening up and sharing what you did. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. So, what would be if you could, like, sum up what the benefits of coming to me would be, like, what would be
It's the whole body. And the one thing I didn't mention is you do talk about spirituality and emotional health as well. And I remember the first time I got on your table, you went there because we hadn't really gone there before. And just how that impacts everything. Um, so it is the whole body. And I know that you know how it's all connected. So when I have an issue and I text you or call you, if you don't have the answer, you're going to find it. Um, so that's really the best part where usually when you go to a trainer, they're like working out your physical body. And then you go to the doctor thinking they know about nutrition, but they don't. Um, and or a nutritionist or whatever, but your nutritionist isn't talking to the person who is doing your workout program. and your therapist isn't have a clue about any, and I love my therapist, but it's all the entire body.
Mhm.
And that's what makes the biggest difference. And that's when you said human engineering, I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. It's very hard for me to separate. It's very hard for me to separate the body. And it's those. If I turn over every stone, and if there isn't one, I'll find one because there's something that's always there. But yeah, that comes to me on its own, really. But again, I think that network of people that I have in the gym and everybody feeling welcome and everybody knows everybody has something is so cool. Um, and yeah, I think my favorite part is that I do get to turn over so many different pieces and have, like, when I have your body in my head, whether I'm making a protocol for you, whether I'm and now it's skin, like, even
Oh, I can't wait.
yeah, like if I'm making your skin protocol, if I'm doing your supplementation, if I'm doing your peptides, your bioregulators, if I'm thinking about your food, if I'm writing your program, I know your entire body.
Oh, and all the added benefits of the other little things, the toothpaste,
Mhm.
the skincare,
Yeah.
all these other little add-ons that you would never get anywhere else. I mean, I just love all that. I get so into it because I see the difference.
Yeah.
When I first started using that serum, I was like, oh. Do you remember when I text you a picture of myself in the car? It was after I had been with you back second time, like a month. And I go, I swear I look different. Do I look different? And you're like, yes, you do. And it was only like a month.
Mhm. Yes. You know what? And that's feeding your body the right things, but also there was a deep emotional cleansing that you had
Yeah,
went through as well. And
completely.
yeah. So yeah, it's fun. I do. I love my job. I really do. It's I can't imagine doing anything else. And I've got great clients. I really have amazing clients. So
But you got to be ready.
mm,
It's not scary. You just got to be ready to stop making excuses. That's how I look at it. Like,
mm,
we all make excuses our whole life why we can't do something.
mhm,
Until you stop doing that,
yeah. And I don't force feed. I swear it's a little bit at a time because, and I've said this to you, I can't ask you to turn 180 degrees right away. You're going to fail.
no, yeah.
So it's little baby steps and education. It's teaching you along the way. Like, Beth, this is your body. This is what works. This is what doesn't. Each year, each few months, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. But these are the things to look for because you're your biggest advocate.
I get to eat great food,
Mhm.
high quality food. I get to lift heavy and not get injured.
Yeah, that's I forgot
I
that.
mean, like,
Have you been injured in my gym?
no.
No.
I mean, when my gut was really out of whack the first time, and I came into the gym with back issues,
Mhm.
which you had told me was the gut. And that's why, as soon as I had really fixed the gut the first time, the back issues went away and I could do the heavy lifting.
Mhm.
Um, and if something feels funky now, I know I just have bad form.
Mhm. Yeah, but yeah, you've never had any injuries now that I think about it.
No.
And the back pain, you're right, it went away. I forgot you had back pain.
Yeah.
I remember now. Okay, that's awesome.
And a lot of that was emotion too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because
A
this
lot of
time
stuffing
around,
things down.
none.
Yeah. Oh, well, like I said, you guys, I think this will be continued. We'll keep you updated on Beth here, but again, thank you. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions or anything you want me to talk about more that Beth brought up, we can do so. If you want me to break down podcasts or any of that kind of stuff, let me know. I love to do that. And I always lose ideas on what to talk about because I forget where everybody is. I forget the basics anymore because I'm so far along in some sort of way. Um, so just keep me posted on all of that. But again, thank you so much for listening and can't wait to talk to you.